Hi everybody, welcome back to Testing Basics and thank you for watching. We're going to be doing silk shirts today. As always, I've got 5 from high street to high end. I've never really owned many silk shirts before, and I'll be honest, the ones that I do have, I don't wear very often because of how high maintenance they are to wash, because most of them require dry cleaning. So I am going to try and wash one of them. One of them does say on the instructions label that you can hand wash it, and that is the first one, the cheapest one we've got, which is from Mango. So this one I'm going to try and wash, and I'm going to see how we get on with washing it, because that's what massively puts me off them. So this was Mango, $49.99, 100% silk, and I got it in a medium. It's this blush pink shade. It kind of is, it's the thinnest of all the ones that we have here, and it's the only one you sort of have to think about what bra you would wear with it. I mean, if you're not bothered, then you don't have to think about it, but if you were bothered about your bra showing through, even I wore like a nude one with lace over it when I wore this, and you can see the lace through it loads. So if you didn't want your bra to show, you would have to wear a t-shirt bra basically, and this is the only one that shows up any sort of texture of what underwear you might be wearing. So that'd be something to bear in mind. Obviously that's personal preference whether or not you're bothered about that. And it is super basic, no extra detailing on it. It's, you know, kind of feels like a bit of a crunchy silk. It's not super soft, but it has a nice fit to it. Really simple. $49.99 was pretty much the cheapest silk shirt that I managed to find that actually looked quite nice as well. It's from their basics range. As I said, I've got size medium, so that was Mango. Next up from there, and from first impressions, I would say there seems to be quite a big difference between these two, despite a minimal price difference. We've got Massimo Dutti at £54.95. This is 100% mulberry silk, so where they've specified what type of silk it is, I will share that as well. I just very briefly googled what that meant, and from what I can tell it's just a higher quality silk, but I didn't do too much research into this. But this one is mulberry silk, and I got it in a European 40, USA 8. Oh balls, what size is that then? Is that size 10 or is that size 12? For some reason I feel like it was small, medium when I ordered it. Whatever the size is will be written on the screen now, and that's what's correct, but this is a European size 40. And it's just this, it's inside out. It's this really awful snot colour, which I absolutely love. The silk of this does feel a lot nicer, it feels a lot thicker. It kind of has a bit more of a matte texture, but it still feels quite soft and flowing. It has a nicer cut to it than the Mango one. It's got a drop down hem at the back, but again, absolutely no extra detailing, nothing on the cuffs or the lapel or anything like that. It's just a simple button down with a slightly more oversized fit naturally. So that was Massimo Dutti, £54.95. Oh, and as I said, the Mango is the only one where it says on the label that you can wash it. It says you can hand wash it. The rest say do not wash, dry clean only. So I'm only going to try the Mango one just to see how we get on. But from past experience, washing silk doesn't end well, but I'll give it another go. Next up, also inside out, is Under the Stories. Oh, also European size, European 38. So I think that's a 10, a UK 10, US 8. I think that's a UK 10. But that said US 8, European 40. What a puzzle we have. Anyway, whatever's written on the screen is the correct UK size according to the website. This is a black silk shirt. What I must say is that if you generally want a silk shirt and want a lot of choice, I just hit myself in the face, go to Under the Stories. I couldn't believe how much choice they had. It wasn't somewhere that I would naturally have thought to look for silk shirts. I go on so many websites and look around when I do these videos. They had so much choice, so many different shapes, colours, patterns, all sorts. I was really impressed by the choice. I went for a plain black one, and I believe this is called their straight fit shirt, and it is a really nice straight fitting, so it's not too oversized. I always size up so that they do come a bit oversized. If I wanted something to fit quite tightly, I would go for a size 8, but then you sometimes have the problem of it pulling over your boobs a little bit, so generally a size 10 fits me well over my chest, but also is that oversized fit that I like. I know shirts and boobs is sometimes a really difficult combination, and I will talk about that a bit more later on. So yeah, Under the Stories is £65, also 100% mulberry silk. Is a slightly more matte texture than the Massimo Dutti one. It almost feels like a slubbed silk, but it isn't. But it has a more matte texture. It's got no shine on it whatsoever. But again, it's a really nice thick feeling silk, no trouble with underwear. Up again from there we have J.Crew. This is now a considerable jump up to £130, dry clean only, in a US size 6. Why are none of these in English sizes? So I think that's a size 8. Well, Jesus, what? I don't know. Anyway, this one's printed. It's got a lot more going on with it. It has a pajama style collar with the curved edges. And this is, for the next two, you really do notice the difference in the detailing. So there's small things like the buttons just feel and look a little bit nicer. It has this, where am I trying to find it? This green piping that goes around the edge of the collar. It also is on the back of the shirt, and it's also on the cuffs as well. It has a scarf print all over it and two different patterns running through it. So the small things like the piping are the extra detailing, which I always do look for when you suddenly start to spend a lot of money on something like this. Silk wise, it does feel different to the others. It feels silkier, as in it is a lot more shiny feeling. I'm really struggling to find the right adjective for this, but it feels like you would expect a shiny silky fabric to feel, whereas the others feel more matte. So this feels quite flowing. The pajama collar is really flattering. I do really like it. And something I'm going to talk about later a lot with regards to how shirts fit over the boobs is how they're hanging over the chest when you don't wear them fully done up. So I'm going to talk about that later. But from first impressions, this one sits quite nicely here when you have a few buttons undone, better than the other ones do. So that was J.Crew, £130. And on to the most expensive one. Big jump here to £270. I went for an equipment shirt, which is definitely in my mind, the silk shirt brand, and just the shirt brand in general. They have so many. I got this with Net-a-Porter. It just has 100% silk, dry clean only. This one is called the Kira. They all have different names. And the reason I went for this one is for the collar, which again is related to how they sit on the chest. Which basically, I find that can make them look not smart. If you want to wear them for a workwear environment, I always think it's really important the way that things sit down here and that they're not flopping everywhere, which is why generally I'm a fan of a stiff cotton shirt with a stiff collar, because it just sits in a really smart way. Even you don't have to wear it done up either. I prefer to have a few buttons undone. So the collar on this one is more like a lapel. You don't have the option of buttoning up to the top because the buttons stop here, but it has the lapel style collar, which does make it sit really flatteringly on the chest. It is a blush shade with very large white polka dots. Again, there are some nice details on it, like this front pocket here, which is the only one that has it. Stuff like it's got equipment printed on the buttons. Again, it has this nice piping detail through the sleeves. This one feels most like the And Other Stories one, in that again it's that matte silk texture. I wonder if I hold these up together, if the way the light catches it, you can see a little bit more about what I mean about the different textures. The J.Crew one has a shine through it. This is completely matte like the And Other Stories one. Feels very similar to the And Other Stories one, to the point where if I close my eyes and touch them both, I don't know if I would be able to tell which is which. Which, you know, that says a lot to say this was a heck of a lot more money. What else? I've got it in a size small, and that's about it. Would definitely not risk washing this one. I'm definitely going to wash the mango one, and I might try and wash one of the other cheaper end ones, depending on how the mango one goes. So this was equipment at £270 in a size small. Okay, so you know how it works now. I'm going to wear them all over the next week. Generally, I'll be wearing them all with dressed down outfits because I don't work a 9 to 5, so I'm never in workwear. But I think that this is going to be really relevant for those of you who have a workwear wardrobe, especially if it's quite a smart one, because a silk shirt can be super smart, super flattering, really easy to wear. As I said, the overall question for me is, how much money do you want to spend versus how much you have to spend on the upkeep of a silk shirt? Because dry cleaning something every time is an absolute ball ache. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit more at the end, and let's get into the next section. Hi guys, we're just about to go to Madrid. I'm so excited. I've got on the equipment shirt today with some ASOS straight leg jeans, TOPSHOP denim jacket, didn't mean to kick that, AQUAZZURA pumps. I like this a lot. It feels really nice on the skin. It does feel quite luxurious. I love the colour, I love how it looks. I think the neckline is really flattering with the little lapels. it does look lovely and it feels really lovely, so I am very impressed with it. I just want to see how well it wears, and obviously as we're flying and travelling, I feel like it's always a sweaty day, so it's going to be a good test for it. We'll see how it gets on. Okay, so we're in Madrid in the hotel room, and I'm just about to wear for the evening the Under the Stories silk shirt. On the skin and how it hangs is no different to the equipment one. The only difference is that it hasn't got the lapel collar in the way the equipment one does, so I think that it can kind of sit a little less flattering over the boobs, because this will not sit as flat to the chest basically, but I think it actually isn't sitting like that. It's sitting really nicely. So far there seems to be no difference. The finish isn't as nice. You know, I was saying that cuffs on the equipment one have got a nice finish to them. This doesn't have anything like that, but for the price difference I wouldn't expect it, and I think it looks really nice. It feels really, really nice. I like the fact it's like a slubbed matte silk and not something that's shiny. So I've just got it on with some TOTEME silk pants. I'm 100% silk this evening. AQUAZZURA Wild Thing sandals, and I'm just going to take my Gucci bamboo handle bag. So this is me for the evening. Yeah, I do really, really like this shirt actually. Hi guys, I have on the Massimo Dutti shirt today. I'm really struggling to say much about each of these as I'm wearing them, because they all feel so similar, and there's just nothing to say. That they're all feeling as comfortable as each other. The differences so far have just been in the colour and what I feel like I can wear the different colours with, but in terms of actually how they feel, there's no differences. I've got no complaints about any of them whatsoever. They're all comfortable. They all hang really nicely, they all fit really well so far, they all just feel nice. So I've got really similar things to say about each of them at the moment. And so styling wise, I've just been knelt on the rug, so I've got fluff all over my leg, but I've been wearing my white straight leg jeans from H&M and my DRIES Van Noten yellow shoes. So yeah, I mean, for this particular one, I really love the colour. I think it's kind of fun for spring and summer. I mean, it's quite autumnal as well, I suppose, but I don't know, I just really like it because it's really ugly, so I'm liking that. But yeah, I feel like so far I'm struggling to actually give anything that constructive about any of them, because they're all comfortable, they all feel nice. So I guess so far I don't see any point in spending more money than you necessarily need to, as this one and the Under the Stories one have been just as good to wear as the equipment one. Hello guys, excuse this box, I've just been out collecting parcels. I have on the mango one today, and it is my least favourite definitely so far. While there is no difference in comfort whatsoever, it's the most see-through one. I'll do a close-up. I've just got on like a nude bra, but it's got lace on it, and you'd have to wear a t-shirt bra with it basically, because it shows through so much. So I think for the price difference between this and the Massimo Dutti one, that it is well worth the very minimal price difference between the two. This doesn't feel, I mean, it's just comfortable, but the fabric's just not as nice, it's not as thick, and obviously the bra issue is a big thing that we have to think about. So I've just had it on with my ASOS straight leg jeans, Gucci loafers, and this really cool bomber style jacket from Paul Smith with these amazing faux fur green sleeves. I'm obsessed with this. And then my Loewe puzzle bag, which I've just put somewhere. So yeah, least favourite one so far. Let me come in closer and show you. I have to crouch down and show you what I mean about the lace. Can you see there? So especially I think if you were like wanting them for work, I just don't think that looks overly smart, being able to see the lace through it. I mean, it's just not the end of the world, but the others don't do it, so I wouldn't say you have to have that as an issue when there are plenty of others that don't do that. So far this one is my least favourite, I think. So guys, had the J.Crew shirt on today. Excuse that giant box there, and I've literally had it on around the house all day. I nipped out. I don't really like this outfit, you know, when you quickly put something on and it's not the best, but had on my ACNE leather jacket, my ASOS jeans, and my DORATEYMUR slip-on loafers. This shirt's really nice. It feels more luxurious on the skin than the equipment one does. I think that's due to the silkier fabric. Obviously they're both silk, but you know how I was saying at the beginning, this has got a slightly less of a matte texture to it, so it gives it a more luxurious feel on the skin. The collar has sat quite nicely, especially in comparison to the Mango, Massimo Dutti and the And Other Stories ones. So I am, you know, singing its praises, but it doesn't feel loads different to those other three. I just don't think it's worth the price difference. While it's still a nice shirt. So That's it. That's all of the shirts worn. I'm going to wash the mango one this evening, and I will now tell you my final thoughts. Okay, so excuse the fact my chest is red. I've just been scratching a bit, and I shouldn't have done. I have just washed the mango one. Let me start. The mango one's my least favourite, basically. So it's washed okay. It's a bit crunchier than when it went in, and I always find silk does go crunchy when I wash it. So generally I would prefer to dry clean them, and that is a big bone of contention for me and puts me off them generally because it's just too high maintenance. And it's a double-edged sword with it. I don't want to go and spend £50 on a shirt and then have spent more cleaning it than I did on the actual item after just having washed it 5 or 6 times at the dry cleaners. But equally, you invest in something and it just constantly costs you more and more and more and more. The cost per wear is not going down on something in my eyes if you're dry cleaning it after every wear. So it puts me off silk shirts generally, and I'm generally not singing their praises. I much prefer a cotton shirt, a stiff cotton shirt. I think it is way more flattering. But I digress, these are all silk. So the last one is going to be the mango one. Just because it's most see-through and it's the only one that you have to worry about wearing a bra and things like that, what kind of bra you want to wear with it. So not impressed with that. I think for the difference of between this and the Massimo Dutti one of just about £10, less than £10, Massimo hands down is way better than this one because it's not see-through and it feels more luxurious, and yeah, I shouldn't have washed it really. It's not too bad, it's wearable still, but I wouldn't risk it with any of the others. Now, I'm going to be a bit all over the place with these. I do have them in order, but there's pros and cons to each one. The next one is going to be the equipment one, just because I outright don't think it's worth the money. If you really want an equipment shirt and you've been kind of swooning over them for ages and thinking you might want to treat yourself, then I would say yes, go for it if you specifically wanted one, because it was comfortable. I think it looked really nice. It does feel lovely. I enjoyed wearing it, and they have good designs and a huge choice. However, if you're just generally looking for a silk shirt and you're not bothered about the brand, save your money, absolutely save your money. I just don't think they're worth it. It does feel lovely and it looks lovely and it does feel more luxurious than the others, but not enough to warrant the £200 plus price difference. The reason this does get big brownie points from me is the collar. It's something I'm going to talk about quite a bit, and it's something that, despite my favourites not having a collar like this, I still couldn't put this in a top spot because I still don't think the collar makes it worth the price. But basically, I find this lapel style collar so much more flattering. If you've got boobs like I do, you'll know that shirts can be a nightmare to find to fit. They gape over the boobs, especially if you want a tight fitting one. And then when you have some buttons undone, especially when it's a silk shirt and not a stiff fabric, it really kind of hangs and flops in not a smart way, and I just don't find it that flattering. I always find when I'm taking photos in shirts like this, I look at the photos afterwards and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd sorted my collar out. It just doesn't look quite right. Can you guys hear that guy revving his engine? Okay. I wonder what he's making up for. Yes, so the collar I really like. Does give it massive brownie points, is a really nice design feature, and is something that I will look at generally going forward in shirts if I want to buy a silk shirt. I'm confident, I haven't looked, but I'm confident that you would be able to find a collar like this on the high street, and it's not something that necessarily needs to come with such a hefty price tag. But credit where credit's due, I love that collar more than any of the others, and it really negates the issue of a gapey, flappy, undone collar, which you have to do to make up for boob gapage, all that kind of stuff. But not worth the money. And in the same breath, I would say the J.Crew one also isn't worth over £100. I've been so impressed by the stories in Massimo Dutti one here in terms of comparable quality that I just can't really see the point in spending over £100 on a silk shirt. This one does feel luxurious. I actually think it feels more luxurious than the equipment one, which is why it's in a higher point. There's something about the silk which has got a certain weight to it, which feels quite nice. I really do like the print, and I like the green piping around the edge, small details like that which do make it feel a bit more luxurious, but still not enough to say what the price point was. It's a great shirt. Would I wear it? I will wear it again, but I wish I didn't have it, basically. I wouldn't repurchase this, definitely not. So yeah, the J.Crew one is coming in next. So that leaves in the top two space the And Other Stories and Massimo Dutti. The J.Crew one, out of all of the others which don't have the lapel style collar, is actually probably the best fitting collar. So again, despite that being a big factor, I still don't think it makes them worth the money, but I do want to address that. If that's an issue you have, then that's worth thinking about, because they sit really nicely. These two both kind of sit gapey flappy kind of a way, but aside from that, they're both fantastic shirts. I'm going to put the End of the Stories one in the next spot actually. This one fit really nice. It was a really nice straight fit shirt. So simple. I love the fact I got a black one actually. Generally, I kept wanting to reach for this one. Hands down recommend a black silk shirt. This seemed to go with so many outfits, felt really nice on, so definitely recommend you looking for a black silk shirt, or, you know, going for this one, or if any of the others are available in black, then yes, go for it. I loved it. But yeah, the quality's great. It's really simple. It feels nice on the skin. It sits nicely. It hangs nicely. The collar isn't perfect, as I keep saying. But to say this was £60, I think it's really good and really holds its own against the J.Crew and the equipment. As I said at the beginning, this feels so similar to the equipment one as well. It leaves me in first place with the Massimo Dutti one, just because there are slight subtleties in the cut and the shape of this that make this feel really nice. Again, the colour's a big factor for me. I really like this colour. I really enjoyed styling up this colour. Not as versatile as the black, obviously not, but it's good fun to style. But it's got a slightly more oversized cut. I like the fact that the hem drops down a little bit at the back. Really small subtle details that makes it stand head and shoulders above the Mango one, despite a small price difference, and also gives it a bit more of a something than the End of the Stories one, again, despite it being slightly cheaper. So I was really impressed with the Massimo one, and would definitely buy this again in different colours. I would buy this one and the End of the Stories one again in different colours. If I had to go and get more silk shirts. Generally, I would stick with a cotton shirt though, because these all have got to go to the dry cleaners now. I don't know how much it's going to cost me, but it's more than I want to spend on cleaning clothes. And it puts me off wearing them when I know I've got to go and dry clean it after every single wear. So I'm not the biggest silk shirt fan, it turns out. But I hope you have enjoyed this one. Not sure what to do next, so we'll see what the next one's going to be for testing basics. I want to do some sort of footwear, but I haven't quite decided which ones yet. But yeah, we shall see. Any suggestions, always welcome. Let me know what you want to see, and I will see you in the next one.